If you've been looking at homes in Cape Coral lately, it probably feels like there are a lot of options. Buyers feel overwhelmed and sellers feel like there's too much competition. But here's the truth. This isn't a bad market. It's a more analytical market. And people who win in this market are the ones who know how to compare the homes the right way. So it feels like there are so many homes, but there are really only roughly 2,600 single family homes. So that's a healthy inventory. It's really not oversupply. But what we are seeing is buyers are more selective. So homes are sitting longer. And there's some overlap between resale and new construction. We're seeing pricing tested aggressively, and we're seeing buyers comparing more competitively. They're not just picking a house anymore. They're comparing things like, besides price, things like risk, future expenses. For example, this house is cheaper, but it needs a new AC system. Or this one is more expensive, but insurance is lower. The cheapest home isn't always the best deal. Let's talk about what buyers should actually compare. The core categories you really want to look at are age and as it relates to building code era, pre-2002 versus then there were code updates again in 2008, 2012, and then again in 2023. So that's pretty important as to which building code era the home was constructed in. It also impacts the insurance as well as the durability of the property. And then speaking of insurance, the age of the roof, impact windows versus shutters, the number of openings, sliders, and wind mitigation, all of those things impact not only the cost of your insurance, but your ability to protect the property in case of a storm. We also look at flood zones. X is not required to have flood insurance, though I do say if it's not required, you should still have it. It would be more affordable, though, if you were in flood zone X. And flood zone AE, your mortgage company is going to require it, but you might be able to get a transferable policy that could save you some significant money. And then looking at well and septic versus city. City assessments might be paid, or they might be coming, or we have no idea when they're coming. So you want to be able to know where the home stands on the Cape Coral utility expansion map. And then the location. Let's talk about whether it's waterfront or dry. And if it's waterfront, is it freshwater or Gulf access? And if it's Gulf access, does it matter to you how long it takes to get to open water? Or if there are bridges, what are the bridge heights? And then is there a seawall? And how old is the seawall? And has it been maintained? And what about the dock and the lift? And will they accommodate your boat? Or have they been maintained as well? Then we look at the AC system, the hot water heater, the pool equipment. And, not only are they old, but are they efficient? We also run into things like floor plan generation. Homes built in early Cape Coral era have flat ceilings. They might have that pass-through window from the kitchen into the lanai. Some people still like that. Other people want to renovate that out of their home. Cathedral ceilings. Now we have higher ceilings. We have tray ceilings with new construction. All of that matters, and all of that has a value. And then let's talk about the neighborhood and future development. Things like traffic, retail stores, growth areas, road access. So many things to consider. So what does this mean for sellers? Buyers are already comparing all of this, whether sellers realize it or not. You're not competing on price alone. Homes are still selling, but buyers are selective. Emotional pricing doesn't work anymore. The question is no longer, what is my home worth? It's, how does my home compare? What I'm seeing in real time is, for example, I have a buyer right now looking at multiple homes. On paper, they all look pretty good, but when we break them down side by side, the differences are obvious. So I built a system, a simple comparison system. It helps buyers narrow down the options, and it helps sellers understand how their home stacks up. You get a side-by-side comparison, not just price, but all the categories we talked about and real ownership factors, things like risk, for example. If you want my Cape Coral home comparison tool, just message me and I'll send it to you. I can also build the comparison for you based on the homes you're looking at. So this is not a complicated market, it's a smarter market. And the people who win are the ones who understand how to compare the homes the right way.